like it looks like I'm peering over your shoulder now.
Oh yeah, it does. It goes. Yeah.
Well, come down here, and
and it looks like I'm licking his ear. It looks actually we look like both having to go each side. Hey. Now I don't know if Phil was doing a freeze frame or.
Oh, because he's the master of freeze frame.
Yeah, he's the master of.
What a freeze frame as well! Look at that face.
Yeah, I know. It looks like he looks like a proper Taters there, doesn't he? Look at that Taters prick head. Look.
That's impressive holding that freeze frame.
Impressive. He looks like not a Frodo's mate, like proper there.
He does, doesn't he?
I should do a screenshot, really.
Yeah, do a screenshot. Oh, he's gone.
Bonjour.
Right, boys.
Bonjour.
We all good?
Yeah, all good. Man.
Awesome.
All good.
Yes. Here we are again.
Another week, another fortnight.
And
number 25, not including specials.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Nice. That's a nice round.
Quarter of the century. Look at that.
Yeah, number 25, not including specials. Including specials, we're over 30, I think. No?
Who would have thought? Who would have thought? Who wants to? Be fair. But the news of the hour, coming the top news of the hour.
Go on.
Got to be Filoni.
Oh, is that the news of the hour? I thought Nia DaCosta was the news of the hour.
Oh, what?
Like quite literally.
What, being thrown under the bus?
Nia DaCosta's.
What's happened?
So she was meant to be on top. Hang on, 10 projects following the Marvels. Disney has sacked her.
Not surprised.
Good God, they should be doing more of that. But then again,
down the road.
Yeah.
If they did, they probably wouldn't have anyone left. If they sacked everyone just for the cinema bit, because you can't really measure the well, you can measure the TV stuff, but just to keep it simple, you imagine if they sacked everyone that was part of a failing film. The studio would be empty.
You'd have no one left. Yeah, there'd be no one left, man. But the thing is, though, like I say, it's, to be fair, the people on the ground it's basically all your heads of department.
Yeah. I mean, it's not the
isn't it?
Studio. It's not the set builders and
all them lot just following instructions. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And was just like mentioning CGI earlier on. Was just saying about the creator.
Yeah.
And how that was made for a very modest budget, 60 to 80 mil, something like that.
Really?
The CGI on that, exactly. It looks absolutely amazing. Yeah, you've got Marvel that are spending what, 200 mil on a film, and it looks shit.
Bloated. They really have.
Yeah, it just doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what the CGI budget. The only Marvel film that I knew the CGI budget was from Captain America. It's the only one I actually knew what the CGI budget was because I was someone about it on set.
What did they say it was?
25 mil
for CGI.
Just for CGI, yeah.
It does ramp it up when you've got that. And apparently the Marvels. Neither of you have seen the Marvels, have you?
Nah,
no. My knowledge of the Marvels film has been from the Wikipedia page.
Yeah.
The pitch meeting.
Yeah.
And a little breakdown that I watched online as well. That's my knowledge of the Marvels.
That's probably best.
Yeah.
The only news or something that I've gone into around anything to do with the Marvels was the young girl that plays Kamala Khan.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know she was a comic book writer for Marvel.
Neither did I.
Was she?
She is. Not was she? She currently is. Yeah.
Doesn't surprise.
And what character is she?
And if she's
what character?
It makes sense.
Something to do with X-Men. I think it's X-Men and I think projects are X-Men. But she actually writes for Marvel. Yeah. I thought that was good, which shows why she enjoyed being on set and actually doing the things she did Because she's deep.
Yeah, it's a good point.
Here, though, that her character in this film, such as if people are trying to find a sweet corn in the turd, and it is quite a long, like they didn't crimp for a while. This one.
Very drawn out, yeah.
Yeah.
It's the one that hits the bottom of the pan and hits your bollocks as it flops out.
It's the Christmas Yule log.
It's the Christmas
Christmas Yule log.
But the one sweet corn in that was her.
Yeah.
Her character and stuff. So I don't know.
Which I can understand now.
But at least it was the highest grossing opening for a black female director of all time. Yay!
It was the worst grossing of MCU of all time.
What was the domestic on it? It was like something like ridiculously low, wasn't it? Like not even in the hundreds of millions.
What was those stats in your video? So it was the lowest MCU like opening, like grossing.
Yeah.
So far on the MCU,
lowest grossing
75%
of all time.
Yeah.
75% drop off.
78.
78%
drop off.
Yeah, 78, the highest drop off. Oh, every metric
in week 2.
Any metric you want to look at to measure a film's well, not success.
But as we said last but as we said last time, the timing of this film in terms of where we are in the MCU and the amount of fans that have dropped off since Endgame.
Yeah.
The fact that it had nothing working for it in the first place. It was doomed to fail.
Yeah, definitely.
From day one, it was doomed to fail.
I mean, it's failed big time.
And
it always was.
You think what a job they've got now, right? Whatever they try to do, you think what a job they've now got to bring us all back. Look at us. Look at us here. We were the midnight preview boys.
Yeah.
As amongst millions of people globally. We couldn't wait for the weekend or the Friday that it came out, or whatever it was. When it comes to those last 3 or 4 films, I don't know how many they were they'd done them midnight previews. But if they did, me and Luke as well, like my son. So there's just 4 of us here. And I know this is all like anecdotal, but how, especially, I mean, I'm the worst one amongst all 4 of us, if you include Luke, that has actually watched a few this year. But Luke bailed out early on. And us 3, well, I went and saw Quantum Mania.
Yeah, that's last I saw.
And I've got to admit, if I didn't have a YouTube channel, I wouldn't be watching any. Like, I couldn't face the Marvels. I just thought, don't do it. Like, don't. I was hyping myself up to watch it the Friday morning it came out, to mock it. Something inside me couldn't wait to mock it. But when I got nearer the time, I just thought, really? What, really? There's a part that's
you just don't want to pay your money, do you?
Do it.
That's the thing. I'm actually looking forward for when we've got a movie that is worth going to the cinema for. Everything else, you just wait for it to stream.
Yeah, but that goes back to my question, which is, like, how are they going to get us all back? I mean, that trust has gone, hasn't it? Like, that trust is just evaporated. And did you see?
Well, they've got a couple of tactics. But 85% of the audience that has seen it's men.
It was men.
With Marvels, yeah. And it was squarely
aimed
aimed at the female demographic.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that argument just doesn't work at all. The fact is, it's a shit film.
It wasn't even an argument. It was an outright statement. That Brie Larson said it. DaCosta said it. Kevin Feige said it. This is being aimed at the female demographic.
Yeah,
and none of them turned up.
Yeah, they can't get nothing.
But
they complain that they're not included.
But also, as we mentioned the other week, they've got. You've got a lot of homework to do in order to watch this. And arguably one of those bits that we kind of sort of didn't really touch upon was Secret Invasion. So if Fury's in this film, and from everything that I've heard, again, haven't seen it, but it's all from like reviews and stuff that I've heard, Nick Fury is basically one of the comedy characters in this. So Secret Invasion, he's all like bearded and grumpy, and isn't Nick Fury anymore, and in this one, he's just laughing and joking the whole time.
Oh,
So they can't even keep
Skywalker treatment in Secret Invasion.
Yeah, but they can't even give him a continuous storyline and a character arc because they've just ignored. They're not working in unison with each other. And apparently, you could not tell by watching this if Secret Invasion happened before, after. Like, you just got no idea what's happened. It just doesn't fit. It's like a different continuity, from universe. It just doesn't make sense.
You know what I said? You know what I said, that when this stuff comes to Disney Plus, they should have a commentary track. I would love to hear this commentary track.
Yeah.
It's just people blaming each other.
That's a great
It's just like, it's your fault. No, it's not. It's your fault.
Yeah.
That's a
You
great one.
Just get everyone in there.
CGI. Who was to
They've got-
directed this shot? I don't know.
They've got a couple of tactics moving forward that they could do. To answer your question, Hulk, in terms of bringing us back, the first and most obvious tactic is to reduce the level of content. I think we were all a little bit over.
Yeah.
It was a bit overdone. Like, you used to look forward to maybe 3 Marvel films a year, and that was your fix. And because it wasn't as often, you'd want to go to the cinema to see those films. And the fact that, okay, it'd end up on streaming at some point, but you'd have to wait for it. You wouldn't just be content. Oh, that's all right. I won't go to cinema to see that. I'll wait for it to hit the streaming channel. That's fine. Now it's on there within like 40 days. So if you're not going to see it on the premiere day, you've only got just over a month before you can watch it as part of your subscription. You don't have to pay out any money, or just watch it from the comfort of your own home. So I think reducing the level, the content, and not spreading yourself so thin is a major factor. But in terms, which they won't do, but in terms of what they need to do, there's 2 ways they could do it. One, you focus on films like your Fantastic Four, your big names. You focus on those, and you get rid of everything else, or you just reset the whole blood lot and start over with a whole new team. Do it, or just do standalones. Just something they need to change their formula.
I think that would probably be the answer for the short term. Is to get rid of the multifaceted universe, and this connects to that and connects to that, and just do some standalone movies.
Yeah,
even if you find just an oddball character, even if you find an oddball character, go and do one decent 2.5 hour movie.
But weirdly, whoever thought this, the glimmer of hope, based off of the trailer alone, the glimmer of hope appears to be Echo.
Well, that's TV. That's TV, though, isn't it? Not movies.
Yeah, I know that, but in terms, I mean that
right. Okay, so that's my answer there. Then is take, like I think I said it before, separate the 2 entities. TV shows are TV shows and movies are MCU. Don't do TV shows in the MCU. And everything 100%. Gets far too complicated and far too drawn out.
Or again, have the standalone, like you saw. I mean, I'm agreeing with you too.
Yeah,
I think
standalone definitely.
Or any kind of big reboot with connected films and characters, which can be done again. But then again, X-Men did it. Do you remember, like the Bryan Singer X-Men? We did an individual Wolverine film and an individual each character film, did we? We made a team film. So when they're talking about the Avengers and they've done Captain America and they built it up over 10 years, and when JLA come out, they just went, we don't know who these characters are. Well, it can be done, but with the TV, with Dismal, they've done that Werewolf by Night. Just a little standalone over there.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah,
and that's the best thing they did. So why
they've just
and to be fair, how they had Agents of Shield, where it tied in a little bit, but it was just over there off the side.
It was off the side, yeah.
Wasn't really a tie-in, was it? You just had the odd cameo, and it wasn't even anyone. Who did we have? We had Lady Sif popped up in
Nick Fury.
Nick Fury popped. I'm saying we had some minor sort of pop-ups, and that was it.
Yeah, I mean, we're talking common sense action plan of what you could potentially do, but we know they're not going to do it, and we know. And I predict something right now. I predict something. They're going to panic, and they're going to hold everything off. They're going to do Deadpool film-wise next year. But then, next
They're finished. So the latest news on Deadpool is
2024.
Yeah, so
next year.
they come out of the strike, Jackman and Ryan Reynolds, straight back to work to finish all the principal photography by the end of this year. Get it all in the can,
and it's going to be out next year.
Wrapped up and out next year.
Yeah,
that's a worry that they're going to panic with that to rush it.
Yeah, but my thing is, so they're going to panic with that to rush that, and then they're going to throw all their eggs in one basket with Secret Wars, the Avengers movie. They're going to that'll be the next thing we see in the cinema after Deadpool 3, and they're going to be, we throw our eggs in this basket. Secret Wars, let's get everyone back, and they're going to panic. They're going to do everything they can to get Robert Downey Jr. back. They're going to do everything they can to get Chris Evans back. They're going to do everything they can, and they're going to panic big time, and it's going to flop.
I don't think they've got the money, and I don't.
Well,
I don't think the actors, they haven't got the money, and if the actors, and that's if the actors did want to come back, and I think it's 100%. There's such a stink around it now. Marvel, it's shit. Who wants to work for them now? Like Scarlett Johansson's going to come back after all the grief. She's being very polite in public now after all that grief she had over Black Widow suing Disney and all the rest of it. Hiddleston, he's told them no more Loki in an interview with Letterman or someone on some late night TV show. He's gone no more. Because it's just a stinky brand now. Like it's like it's a backward step for your career now for these films because they tank hard.
Yeah, I think Secret Wars is way off yet. I don't think Secret Wars is coming anytime soon. As far as I know, the 3 movies that are imminent from Marvel now is you've got Deadpool 3, like I say, finishing off their filming. You've got Fantastic Four starting in January, and then at some point, mid to late next year, they're starting with the next Captain America movie.
So I just got the feeling
they shelved Blade, didn't they?
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, with my theory, is that they're going to shelf everything and throw all their eggs into one basket of an Avengers movie because they know historically an Avengers movie is going to draw in a lot of money.
Well, that was the latest that I heard 2 days ago.
Yeah.
Okay.
I can't see a binge. I think they're focusing on Fantastic Four.
That's just my fear. That's just my theory in terms of Fantastic Four as well, maybe. But that's my theory in terms of it. Oh yeah, big time.
Well, winding you up.
No, but I don't mind the whole Pedro Pascal.
Pedro Pascal. Yeah.
Do you know what?
That's cool.
But that's the one that people are up in. I'm up in arms about putting tits on the Silver Surfer. But everyone seems to be up in arms about old Pedro. Even someone on one of my the video I did. In the comics, he's 29. All right, fair enough. Pedro's 51, and in the comics, he's 29. I don't know what era of comics that would have been, but that's obviously the agreed perception of our old Reed. But I've always seen Reed Richards as a bit grey round here.
Yeah, he's got grey hair.
And he's got a bit of a salt, old Sue Storm when they got married. You know what I mean? When they started off, it was Sue Storm and
29.
Vanessa Kirby's the positive.
Punching above his weight,
very good casting.
You know what I mean?
Vanessa Kirby's very good casting. On the positive, Vanessa Kirby's very good casting.
That's a rumour, but she said she's up for it.
If that's true.
So is Pedro Pascal. Currently, Pedro Pascal is still rumour. That's not nailed down. And considering they're meant to be starting filming, still in the rumour stage.
But for me,
if you look everywhere online, nowhere is confirmed. Yeah, even Krasinski is still as rumor.
Yeah, but I'm not being funny. They haven't got a cast yet, and they're filming like beginning of the year. They probably still haven't even
January. This is what I'm saying. They've got to panic.
They probably still haven't even got a script.
Details.
No, they don't need a script. They can wing it.
It's just going to be improv all the way through.
Yeah,
well, if we've got. Right, so the female Silver Surfer, do we know anything about her? Is it meant to be Juno?
What, another herald? I mean,
the other herald of Galactus, yeah. From what was that comic? There was a little comic run, 2009, 2010, where Hercules fought Galactus to save the Andromeda Galaxy. She went to be the herald. She was Hercules' wife, and she was the herald, or became the herald of Galactus to save Hercules. And I think it was 3 episodes, 3 books, and then they wrapped her up, and you never touched her again.
I didn't read any of that, and you could have a female Herald of Galactus. What I think they're missing, if they go that route, and we know they will do, is they're going to miss one of the greatest storylines.
Absolutely.
Back to keep him male, and that gives Ben that gives the Thing an arc against the Surfer, because it's Alicia Masters who's blind. She's a sculptress, but
that's it. Yeah,
Ben Grimm. That storyline is powerful.
That crossover, yeah. I remember.
Basically, Alicia Masters basically saves the Earth, because she's the one that convinces the Silver Surfer that Earth is worth saving. He comes down and goes, "Oh yeah."
On top of that, though, the Silver Surfer is a very iconic, beloved character.
Absolutely.
So, when you do Fantastic Four,
to be fair, I'm trying to be balanced, but why give a male character
when you do Fantastic? When you do Fantastic Four, though, when you do Fantastic Four and you tune in for the Silver Surfer, you expect to see the Silver Surfer that you know and love, not something different.
Right. So that's what I'm saying. If it is going to be Juno, then there is a tiny little bit of an argument for okay, this is a character we've used and we're going to reintroduce. That's fine. That's it. They are saying effectively, this is Noreen Rad. It's just like, oh no, I'm done. I'm out.
Yeah, that's it.
At this point, I expect them to change it to the Gold Surfer at this point.
Oh, that's what I'm saying. Right, so we had Noreen Rad. Noreen Rad. If they change Noreen Rad to Noreen Rad, I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm out. If they say it's Juno, there's a slight, I might still, okay, let's see where this goes. But the fact that she was only in 3 books, and again, you got Noreen that was in, I lost count of how many books he was in.
He's such a cult character.
Exactly.
If you're going to use him, you're going to take him from the IP, from the source material that you own.
Yeah.
Why do you want to change it? That's like making, what would be the equivalent? Like, not a major character. And Lord of the Rings is
Wonder Woman as a man.
Right. What's that?
The Wonder Woman as a man. It just doesn't work, does it?
Can you imagine? There was a Wonder Man in Marvel, wasn't there? He was an Avenger. But anyway,
I've heard of Wonder Bread.
The Rings. What kind of character on the level of Silver Surfer would you change to female, just for the sake of it? Like, just make him female. You wouldn't, would you? Because
they've done it with the original Avengers so far, haven't they?
The people that fell in love with the books, surely you want them to come and see your movie.
I think out of Lord of the Rings, there's only one character that you could justify turning female.
Go on.
And that would be
who?
Sauron.
Oh, yeah. What? Oh, no, we're going to...
That's the only one.
No, we don't. I was going to say something then.
Although you might have to change that eye. That eye might have to be...
go there.
And everyone's after Sauron's ring.
That's it.
I was going to say he's only evil once a month, but I did say I'm not going to go there. I can edit this out. we all know a Sauron, don't we? For 1 week a month.
That's precisely my point.
Oh dear.
That's all the female viewers gone.
That's it. Yeah, that's one demographic. To be fair, when I say I don't want tits on the Silver Surfer, I don't know how many female. Oh dear, never mind.
Like I say, with Silver Surfer, if they are going down the route of having the female Silver Surfer as Juno, then okay, there's a little bit of background to that, but it is a very tiny bit of background compared to
surely now would be the chance. If you're, Deadpool.
Well, yes.
Was Blade not being filmed as well before they shelved, like before they canned it, before the?
No, they didn't even start filming.
I would say they didn't actually start Prince Photography, did they? And
they
then
didn't even start.
Yeah,
there's so many scripts.
Kicked off the writer, or just kind of shelved that.
Yeah.
Director, there's something going on there. Where
everyone's gone. Everyone's gone.
And again,
even old Mashada Ali's pretty much gone. Yeah. Supposed to be about his daughter, the script.
Oh, Blade's daughter.
Mm.
All right, okay.
Which there is a storyline in the comics at the moment, and they've kind of done an issue 1 a few months ago, and it has been a decent storyline, including his daughter. Yeah, it can be done, but surely,
Not so much.
Right? The Marvels must surely represent a waking up moment where they go, the next film we do, a bit like with Deadpool, they've got the first 2 films, so they've got the template. Oh, we just have to do this. The first film followed the comic character.
Yeah.
The second film followed the first. Now the third film's going to kind of, hopefully, because Ryan Reynolds is so invested in that character as well, and Hugh Jackman's on board, and how they've got a chemistry between them. So
what's coming from that movie, didn't you?
He's going to deliver exactly what he says on the tin, which is entertainment.
But you know what's coming in that movie, didn't you?
Go on.
It's going to be It's going to be effectively a slightly different version of the South Park Pandaverse. He is going to be taking the piss out of the multiverse. That's coming. That's why Hugh Jackman's back. Well, in his blue and yellow suit. He's going to be taking the piss out of the multiverse.
Well, the second film was taking the piss out of the X-Men, really, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
But do we not mind that? I mean, me as a fanboy,
not at all.
I don't mind that. And that's what She-Hulk, in talking about that, that's exactly what the She-Hulk, like the John Byrne run in the late 80s.
Yeah. Yeah.
What he was doing with She-Hulk, he was kind of mocking the fanboy that liked all this.
Yeah.
But I was up for that. Well, it was up for the comic.
I remember arguing with you over episode 1.
But you would think that the Marvels, so apart from Daredevil, you'd think that the Marvels would represent right, stop it now. Surely that's enough now.
Well, I mean, right, okay.
You would think so.
We've had the Echo trailer 2 weeks ago to massive applause and so like, this is fantastic. This is moving the right direction. To basically everybody going, don't want that. To Marvels.
And as well, like with what's happened over the last couple of years, same for Star Wars as well, where your title character is not your main character. At what point, like Blade, the story's going to be about the daughter? No, the title's Blade. I want Blade.
Yeah, I mean, it's so.
Do you know what I mean? Like, how many times? It's advertising. How many times can you get away with it?
Yeah, but like I said, when we talked about the Punisher comic last time, and you showed me the Punisher comic, the only way I could still maintain my sort of investment in that storyline with it not being Frank Castle, the only person would be Frank Castle's son. If he's going out to avenge his dad, that would be it. Not that his son's alive, but again, multiverse.
Yeah.
It's that would be so in terms of Blade, yes, I could get on board with that. If it's Blade's daughter and Blade is killed or whatever, and she goes, I'm coming at you. Okay. Actually, I can get on board with that.
This leads nicely into the Madam Web trailer, right? Where, and I know it's Sony now, so we're talking about another, but they did Morbius, they did Venom 2.
They probably did Morbius.
They are losing
and Venom 2.
They're losing the plot as well, I think, Sony, a little bit here.
Yeah, neither of them were good films.
Madam Web. So out of the Spider-Man universe, like Tayters, you just said about the sun, but it's, you can do anything in comics. You can do anything. You can, to a certain degree, you can kind of retrofit certain things. So this is what they've retrofitted with a run of Spider-Man that I just bought. And it was the run of Spider-Man. It was only 18 issues, and it was 18 issues that introduced the Spider-Verse, right?
Yes.
All different characters, right? So I just bought that run, and introduces a character called Silk, right? Which is, they could have called it Spider Girl S. They could have called it Spider. They've already got a Spider Woman. They've already got plenty of females, right?
Yeah.
This character, it goes back to the origin of Spider-Man. When he gets bitten by the spider, before the spider dies, he bites a girl and then dies. And I thought the conceit of that is quite delicious. I
Mm.
Yeah, do you know what? Why did the spider only bite one person and die? So in this little retrofit, so it's only, but I thought, oh yeah, but she has been imprisoned. And again, I thought, yeah, I'm liking this. And anyway, blah, 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 blah. Why haven't they done that? Why? Because I'll tell you why. Because a film called Silk will take a lot of hard work to promote. It's an original character. Instead of calling it Madame Web, and people, oh yeah, and they've got a Spider-Man looking, dark Spider-Man looking character in the trailer, and you can just imagine the pitch. Like, you know, what have you got for me? Oh, we've got a female Spider-Man. We're going to call it Madame Web.
Well,
oh, but isn't
honestly,
she
when I watched that trailer,
no, we're going to make her a teenager. I like it.
Well, when I watched that trailer, if I didn't have seen the title at the beginning, I would have thought I'm watching a Final Destination 10 trailer.
Yeah. No, Madame Web.
Yeah, actually, yeah, that's a good chat, actually.
But Madame Web, she's a you know, she's a dimensional being. She's not anywhere. She's tied in with the Beyonder. It should stay that. She's not a young bird that lives in New York.
Oh.
It's like just stick with the original story.
So,
you know, was it Secret Wars? We got Secret Wars out of that storyline, didn't we? Madame Web, Spider-Man.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like you say, Sony aren't doing Venom 2, Morbius, this, and they got Craven as well, haven't they? The trailer for that was horrendous.
Still waiting to see what that turns out like.
Yeah. They've lost the plot big time, mate.
Yeah.
I mean, straight away, I like the actor that's playing Craven.
Yeah.
But he's not going to represent Craven. He's not going to represent Craven.
No, I mean, he is quite ripped, the guy. Like, physically, I forget. Well, when Bullet Train, he looks pretty fit, but I don't know. I don't know, not quite the guy who plays Reacher, not quite that big.
Yes, yeah.
Not quite.
Well, no, I think that would fit. I think that would fit, actually. I think that sort of size would fit Craven perfectly. Craven was huge. Yeah. You're talking about a man that fights lions. Yeah, he's huge.
Yeah. yeah. True. So that's all the Marvel trash.
Yeah.
It really is trash. I mean, apart from Echo was the glimmer, and I was thinking Fantastic Four was going to be the glimmer of hope, to be fair. I was prepared. I'm still prepared to allow, not that they're bothered about what I'm allowing them to do, but I'm still thinking Pedro wouldn't be the worst thing in the world.
Not at all. Give him a few little white bits here, and he fits.
My concern now is the amount of times we've been hurt by this stuff. So, and we have the amount of times we go, that trade looks all right, but each time, so we see a trailer for something, we go, oh, okay, cool, go and watch it, it's a pile of shit. Then we see the next trailer, we go, oh, okay, cool, go and watch it, it's a pile of shit. And this theme's been happening since Endgame.
Yep.
Even though that Echo trailer looked really, really good, it's probably the best trailer they've released in terms of Marvel over the last couple of years, I'm still expecting, I just feel like they've got more crafty with kicking me in the bollocks. I feel they got a bit more crafty with it. Do you know what I mean? I feel they got a bit more crafty. We'll tease them. We'll make it look like the Netflix because we know that's popular. But when they actually watch it, it's just going to be the usual shit again.
Sideswipe, buff, have that.
Yeah. I've just got that feeling that it's getting crafty or ruling me in now.
Yeah.
I mean, I did, like I say, the big fear with Fantastic Four is they're planning to start filming in January. We still haven't got the Thing cast. We still haven't got Johnny Storm cast. Everything else is still rumors. That's very.
I heard a rumor
about
a
lot of time.
Johnny Storm. I heard a rumor it was Joe Quinn, the guy that played Eddie in Stranger Things.
Yeah. I heard that a while back. Actually, you say that. I heard that a few months ago.
Rumor, I know, but yeah, I've heard that a couple of times.
Or at least with Pedro Pascal and the other girl, they are on IMDb as rumored in brackets.
Yeah,
everything. There's no one else on there.
The other rumor I heard as well was Vin Diesel was the Thing.
Really? So
yeah.
Does he not like being on screen anymore? He's Groot. He's a tree, and he's going to be a rock.
I am Thing. The trouble is, the Fantastic Four, and this is something that no one's speaking about really.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be a full-on reboot, so you've got to get the origin in there again.
Yeah,
you can't start it.
Yeah,
it's not like you can start it with the X-Men 2 and just.
I don't know because we didn't get that with Spider-Man, did we? Tom Holland Spider-Man. They cut
that's what
right out, and they left it.
It was refreshing,
and they was like, they hopefully go down that route again. But no, I do think the Pedro Pascal thing is going to come to fruition because I know when they're shooting Mando 4 next year as well, and he is only supplying the voice of Din Djarin. He's not actually going to be on set. So I think there may be some validity to him being Reed Richards.
Well, it's like it was last season, wasn't it?
But you reckon they're
or he on and off?
I don't think they're.
I don't think
they're going to film anything.
If Filoni's now in charge, then because he needs it to set up his film.
They've told KK to sit over there, and they fed us Filoni. They've put Filoni in the chair now, haven't they? Have they not?
Tayters, you lead on.
Why?
Tayters, you lead on this one.
Why the hell they haven't just got rid of Kathleen Kennedy and got in? Oh, just someone with experience. Like I've said before,
that's that grandfather contract she's got for Lucas. She's on that contract, and
she knows where the bodies are buried. She must know where the bodies are buried. No one can survive this long.
Absolutely,
surely not.
Absolutely.
But come on, Tayters, what are you thinking?
Lead on this one.
I don't know what to say. I still love Dave. I think Dave is great.
This is what you wanted, wasn't it?
I also think Dave was playing his own game. I really do. I think Filoni was playing his own game. And now he wanted to be where he is now.
You reckon?
And I think he was just saying he's nodding and agreeing with who he needs to nod and agree with just to get that one rung up, and then the same again to get up a little bit further. And now he's kind of where he needs to be. I don't know. I may be way off base, and he may be. What you called him a KK shield, didn't you? He may be. I doubt it, but he may be.
Well, going on Ahsoka.
I wonder. Yeah, I'm just. The problem is that as we've sort of used the analogy before of, say, for example, us three were going to do something Star Wars related. You are the Star Wars expert, so you're the Filoni in this scenario, where you know all the lore, you know everything that's going on. Me and Hog have written before, and we've done writing. You need those people around Filoni to then draw that.
I don't disagree.
Draw that story. He needs to step from all writing, he needs to step away from all directing, and purely be a creative consultant.
Yeah, no, I don't necessarily disagree, because if I was to try and write something Star Wars, I've got all the past in my head, so I'm going to be writing from that point on, not going back to explain things. So yeah,
I think it's going to be. Let's see if I'm right. I think it's just going to be a mouthpiece for Kathleen Kennedy.
I hope not.
I think it's KK in another name in a hat. He's right. It is. I think it's going to be business as usual until the shadow of that woman has gone from Star Wars. I think we're going to get the same old drivel.
Like you say, I think she knows where the bodies are.
She hasn't let go. She's just sitting over there now. She's not even sitting down. She hasn't even been demoted. I know some people are saying, oh, she's been demoted and Filoni's taking over. No way. If she is still there, that shadow, her hands go, oh, cool. I wish I was. Oh, I hope I'm.
I kind of feel like they're in denial of how shit Star Wars has got.
Yeah.
Oh, so yeah.
Both sides.
Yeah, but they're massively in denial.
Rid of a lot of them. get rid of the loft, sweep the decks.
I think their excuse,
like
100%. I think their excuse is,
no idea.
Yes, I totally agree. But I think their excuse in the offices are, for some reason, KK, the fans don't like you. That's why they go against this. Let's put some of the fans' love in that position. Filoni, you'll be the figurehead. I think instead of it being right, let's get Filoni in to sort this shit out. I think they've moved him into that position because he can be the figurehead and take the brunt of it. People, they know Star Wars fans like Filoni. They don't like KK, so move KK away. It's purely a popularity thing.
But that is a very, very subjective approach to it, which would go on in a normal business, in any business, whether it's films, in life. It gets a bit subjective around the boardroom, doesn't it? Like, you know, the fans don't like you just said, Liz, the fans don't like you. All right, the fans on YouTube, the vocal, you could say that's a vocal minority, couldn't you? But objectively, which is the bottom line, which in business, and this is the bit I don't understand. This is the bit I just don't get, being in business for all my life, is the failure of these businesses. And these are two of the biggest businesses in the, you know, film entertainment in this. Well, Disney are the biggest studio in the world, and objectively, they're not earning any money. So you're not even talking about the fans don't like you. You can't deliver me a film. Apparently, it was old Iger saying to KK, Indy had better earn money. Well, that was the biggest bomb. That's one of the biggest loss-making films of all time. Until 3 weeks later, the Marvels come along. That's over the other side of the boat. That's Feige's fault. So they're probably going like that to each other, going, ha ha.
Yeah. Do you reckon KK's really happy that the Marvels has failed to take the heat off her a little bit?
It won't, no, because they failed for different reasons, didn't they? Indy failed because of the amount of reshoots and the expense of going on, like, you know, to make it. That failed there. They failed at Marvels just because they didn't get the audience. They just haven't got the audience.
No, it's the same question again, isn't it? The $100 billion question is, how do you steer for both sides of the aisle on Disney? How do you steer that oil tank around? Because at the moment, they're on a one-way trip to the cliffs, aren't they? They're already sunk. But let's just say they're not sunk, because they're still a massive, massive corporation. So let's just I'll calm myself down a bit.
You need to.
But what do you do?
I mean, my action plan would be
around, and it takes a long while. So that Marvel's going to go that way, and Star Wars is going to go right, and they've got to bring back millions globally. They've got to bring back millions and millions of fans that put their bums on the seat, that bought a T-shirt, and that went to the theme parks because they're all down and subscribed to their TV channel. All of those.
Marvel would be more along the lines of one shots.
Right. So initially, both studios need time.
Yeah.
Like, to use your analogy of turning a boat, it takes time.
Yes.
Stop everything. But, you know, make Deadpool because you're nearly done with it anyway. Crack on with that. That's the last one. Let's have 2024 off.
Focus on story, entertainment.
Thank you. And then 2025, give us a movie, maybe 2 TV shows that are not linked, and then that's enough. 2026, a movie, maybe 2 TV shows.
2 films. I think 2 films and 2 shows a year.
Even that.
So that's quarterly. Every 3 months, you've got a new TV show or a new film to look forward to.
Yeah.
But not necessarily all connected.
Linked.
Maybe 2 of them connected. Maybe there's an ongoing universe. You know, you're going to do, instead of the Thanos thing, you're going to do Galactus with Fantastic Four and stuff. But link that there. But don't have everything linked up. Yeah, I agree. I think have more standalones. Because in a way, Deadpool is a standalone. I know it is in the Marvel.
Yeah.
but it's not really, is it? I think
that's the thing. It's not in the Marvel universe. It's just over there a little bit. Yeah,
yeah. And I think the major thing you need to do is spend time on the writing phase. Get your script locked in. Don't have producers getting involved in the creative side. Director, writers, the almost like the showrunners, the old school approach to doing these to producing films, and the old school approach to producing TV shows. That needs to be implemented, and focus on good story. With Marvel standalone films, with Star Wars, I would say forget everything in this era apart from one thing which I'll mention in a minute. You go old for films. You go Old Republic, because you can have Lord of the Rings style like size battles with Jedi versus Sith, and have some crazy stuff going on there. But in terms of current times, just do almost like not like they did Tales of the Jedi, but do Tales of the Galaxy.
Yeah,
you can have you can have little 1 hour live action episodes.
Yeah.
Just from different points of the Star Wars universe. You can have one episode during the Clone Wars, one episode of the Wookiees, like Hog said before, one episode of Andor. You can have one of the Ewoks as well. You can have one of the droids. You can have one on whoever.
Yeah, no.
1 hour, one shots, one and done. Tales of the Galaxy. Go for it, and you can have it set anywhere in the Star Wars universe. You can even have Tales of the Sith. You could have a young Palpatine.
I think they should do Tales of the Sith.
Yeah, you could have little bits like that. But I think the current timeline of what we've got, the prequels, original, and the sequels, apart from those one shots and telling those little stories, almost like what the comic books are doing, like little stories weaved within, have a 1 hour episode, one and done story, move on to the next.
Have
that to cover your current timeline. But your films, Old Republic, Darth, whatever his bloody name was his name?
Malgus.
That one, Darth Malgus. Have that done.
Well, you're getting right instead. And she's really excited, about it.
But I pose this question to both of you.
She must be the only one. She must be.
But I pose this question to both of you right now.
Go on.
So we get brought in right now, and they say to us, you need to write the Rey movie. We've got no choice. Bearing in mind the reaction that character's had, the fact that no one's looking forward to it, how do you make that film work? You have to do a Rey movie. How do you make that film work? Because I was trying to think about this earlier, of how to make it work, and I honestly can't think of a way to make that film work apart from making it sort of an Obi-Wan character, kill her off at the beginning and she's a ghost all the way through.
I was just thinking, you beat me to the punchline there. Kill her off at the beginning. I think that's
first of all
at Disney. And she's
I think Daisy Ridley is a good actress. I think she is a fantastic actress.
She's a really lovely woman, and she is a good actress. But my God,
the character's shocking. Now, what you could do, and I'm joking, obviously, but what you could do,
have a drink some milk out of animal tits.
Right. So Hog's going to remember this. Quite a few years ago, do you remember Dallas? How they backed up on Dallas by
it was all a dream.
Bobby Ewing. It was all a dream.
It was all a dream, yeah.
I think didn't they do away with it about 3.5 or 4 years of Dallas by it being a dream?
That's it. Yeah.
It was just.
But well, you might know.
It's all a dream.
Me. You probably will know more than me. But didn't Filoni have a plan to write off the sequel trilogy through the
no.
Through the, what is it? The other world. What is it called? In between, whatever it's called. The upside down. Oh, I don't know what it's called. What do you call it?
The upside. The world between worlds.
World between worlds. Did he not have? Was there a plan afoot?
The plan was not to write it off.
Right.
The plan was not to write it off because again, there is no way they would let him write it off.
Right.
It was to enhance it, wasn't it?
Sorry.
It was the plan was to enhance it, so to make the sequels make sense.
to try and make the sequels make sense. Yeah, either that or the plan would have been to just say that the sequels were just, again, they were over there.
So but as far as I understood, it was almost to make it almost explain why Luke was the way he was,
and never talk about it again.
Yeah, that damage is done, unfortunately, and I don't think there's any way you're gonna bring that back. I don't think you can retcon that.
This is what we're talking about. How do you bring Star Wars back? The tanker. You start tanker. Good ship Star Wars and good ship Marvel.
I think Lizzie's idea. I think Lizzie's idea.
But to be fair,
I think Lizzie's idea, be it live action or be it animated, but having Tales of the Galaxy, forget the movies for a while, put those all on hold or standby or cancel or whatever. Concentrate on a little bit of world building, if you like. Again, building up the worlds within the galaxy of Star Wars. Then from that, you might find, oh, we got a story. Actually, we could make that little seed that we planted there about that species over there. We could make a story out of that. We could make that into a movie.
Which is the Old Republic.
Old Republic as well, yeah. There's a lot there.
As a trilogy, have that as your films.
I don't know if I'd want any more trilogies though. They're kind of,
or just a one-off film.
Just I think standalone movies.
Wouldn't that be?
I think standalone movies would be the way forward.
Oh, it'd be a beautiful thing.
More Rogue Ones.
Yeah, like that. Yeah, like that.
Have a
that
character
style,
end, like Rogue One. Have a character die at the end. Just have them all die, whatever it is, or not die, but just even live happily ever after.
Slightly crippled,
but just maimed.
That's it. Yeah. Actually, you'd have him getting stabbed with a lightsaber and actually getting hurt.
I don't want to see him again.
My main concern with this Rey story is that we're going to get essentially what should have been Luke Skywalker's post Return of the Jedi storyline.
Jedi Academy, Jedi Academy is now going to be run by Rey.
So all the things that Luke Skywalker we imagined he would achieve. Is what Rey's actually going to achieve.
And Phoebe Waller-Bridge.
And
I hope not.
No, you know she's going to be.
As a Wookiee. What, as a Wookiee?
No, she's just going to be her. She's going to be the bestest ever.
No, she done her bit on Star Wars, didn't she?
And you know what I do? Was
it IG-88?
I do feel sorry.
No. Was it L3 in the Han Solo movie?
Oh God!
Yeah, and then she died.
Another shitter. But I do feel sorry for Daisy Ridley because, like we said, she is a good actress. She seems like a lovely person. However, because of what they've done with her character, and people, like I've just said, feel like she's probably going to get the story Skywalker should have had post Jedi. She's always going to be hated. Always going to be hated because everyone feels like Luke Skywalker's been done disservice.
That's that group of fans that blame the actress. I mean, if you remember,
and that's not fair.
Didn't they blame the little kid that played Anakin? And like, he got death threats and
it's horrendous. It's horrendous.
It's ridiculous.
But I'm not being funny. Even Hayden Christensen got a lot of shit for these portrayal of Anakin for episode 2 and 3.
Yeah.
Now don't get me. I personally think he done a good job of it.
I do. I personally think he done a good job. Those movies.
With what he was given.
Social media, though.
Yeah. With what he was given, although I will say it, he was given some shit dialogue, especially that fucking balcony scene. But other than that,
that's your favourite. That's your favourite scene to hate, isn't it? Of all time.
I agree with him about sand. It is annoying. I don't like sand.
No. He was given, but at the end of the day, I don't get where the hatred comes from for the actor or actress. Unless they say something ridiculous online, they are doing what they are told, and they're working with what they've been given. It's down to the writers, the directors, and the producers. At the end of the day, and there's no hate for Daisy Ridley.
No, not at all.
But the character of Rey is not a good character and no one will like that character because it's been written very, very poorly, despite how hard she acts and how what she tries to do.
The truth is now, though, even if this follow-up, it becomes one of the best modern day Star Wars movies ever made, you've got those 3 movies prior, and
yeah.
And that's
that's tarnished.
And that's part of, I was just, you just beat me to it, Taters. Like, whatever you do with these old characters, if you aren't just going to do something completely new, like The Mandalorian, first two,
that's why I keep referring back to the Old Republic.
Went down so well,
totally separated.
But they're deciding to do a movie, and it's got the stink of it already. It's got the stink of the sequel trilogy on it already.
But to be fair, we're saying about retcons and you can't get rid of stuff. The world of streaming, they deleted Willow. They could delete they could delete the sequels. They never will, but they could do it. They could just remove it from the streaming service. So unless you bought the DVD, take the DVDs out of production. So unless you bought an original DVD of it, you haven't got it anymore.
All we'll ever have to know that Willow ever existed is my reviews.
They got more views than Willow anyway.
Yeah.
They got way more views.
What did I miss?
I was just saying that in streaming, you can delete stuff these days. So you could retcon it. You could remove the sales of the sequels and delete it. So unless you've got an original DVD or downloaded copy of it, you're not going to get it again. So it just fade out.
Yeah.
Like Willow. I just said. I just said like Willow.
Like Willow. Yeah.
So they could do it. They never will. But
luckily enough, I recorded that on VHS.
And then burned it.
Press play and record every week and go.
That's it. And then
it was this time last year Willow was out, wasn't it? It was this time last year Willow was out.
Something like that, yeah.
Was it?
Yeah. We watched it on our annual Christmas do. We watched that.
Yes. Yeah, you did. Yeah.
There's a couple of episodes in.
And the guy out of it with the long hair, he was in The Creator. It was he? Me when I watched it. The Asian guy. Like, oh wow! I remember. I've seen him before. Oh yeah.
Oh, the one that was hiding in the barrel of shit.
Yeah.
I forget. Forgive me. I forget.
That was a metaphor. That was a metaphor for that whole show.
Yes.
Yeah, it was big time. But what do you think Filoni's moves are going to be? Do you think he's going to change anything? Do you think he's going to change like course direction, or is he just going to continue doing what they're doing? What do you think, Taters?
I think the things that are already in plan have to stay in plan. I think the direction of those things will change slightly. That's all.
Do you think he's actually got any power?
Think if anybody can tidy it up, he can tidy it up. I know he's definitely got the knowledge to tidy it up and try and make everything right. But again, what interference is going to come from above? Like you said, Hog, what is KK going to be doing with that? Is she going to be involved? Is she still going to be in the background? Is it just going to be the shadow?
I wonder how much power he actually has.
That's the bit. That's the point. That's the thing that's always the big question. You know, even though you get told, like, say for Ahsoka, no, this is Dave Filoni's baby. He gets to sign off on everything, blah, 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 blah. How much of that is true? How much of that does he actually get to say so on? And none of us know.
And there's the overriding fact that if that is true, then he is not the savior of Star Wars. Because if Ahsoka was purely him, it was shocking. He's not the man. But he needs that creative team of good storytellers around him.
I do agree. I think we spoke about it. Like I said, he is the super fan, but he is writing for super fans. I get that. I understand that. Because like I said a little while ago, if I was to write Star Wars, I've got all that stuff up here. I'm not going to write all this what's in here. I'm going to write forward. I know what's in here. So I've got to write with all this in mind. Other people ain't going to have a clue what I'm saying or what I'm trying to put on screen. You ain't got what I've got up here. Well, unless you are as stupid as me and waste your life watching Star Wars.
No, it wasn't. It was. It never used to be a waste, did it? To be fair,
Never used to be. No,
waste of time. You know,
never used to be.
now it's one and done, isn't it? One episode and you're done. Like, you can't.
That's why I feel like sort of an anthology series, something like I said earlier, Tales of the Galaxy would work.
I agree that
because not everything in an anthology, not everything's going to hit home for you, but there's going to be one. Most of it should work, like a Black Mirror. Most of the episodes work for you. There's episodes you prefer, but there's no real bad episodes. But there's just episodes that you prefer more that sort of hit a certain note with each individual. So doing that with Star Wars, like you say, I've got a little thing for the Clone Wars. I like the Clone Wars. I like that era within Star Wars.
Yeah.
So if you give me a one shot of a random clone trooper squadron in live action, great. I'm looking forward to that. I'm quite excited by that. And then you'd have something like a one shot on the Ewoks, and Hog's gonna fucking hate it.
Yeah.
But overall, unless they get massacred by stormtroopers, he's gonna hate it. But do you know what I mean?
I had to talk to a few to get to know where the base
that's where Filoni shines. Filoni shines in 23, 25-minute segments. That's it.
If you're doing live action, you need it as a.
That's what I'm saying. In live action, I don't know if it's because of the format and it's too drawn out, it's too much time. Some of those better episodes that we had of Mando, we had of Ahsoka, they were shorter episodes.
What's the arc in Clone Wars? I can never remember the name of the arc. It's when you follow the clone troopers and they're on that planet where you've got the Jedi. I think Ponkrell, the Jedi.
Yeah.
And he's the one that turns. He's basically sending them all out to die multiple times. What was that arc called? But regardless of what the arc was called, basically, he didn't care for troopers. He just saw them as disposable. They're going out and they're dying and they're trying to get through, but they can't disobey their general.
You're not talking about the one in the training camp, are you?
No. I'm talking. It's like a 4-parter, and it was awesome. But it's solely focused on the clone troopers, and it was amazing. It was really, really good. Something like that, perfect. Really, really niche. A Jedi general that's just lost it a little bit and just doesn't care about sending these troops in to die. Great story. Nice little niche. Bosh. I'd also like to see something in the Jedi Temple. Actually follow a Jedi through whatever story they've got to do, but it ends in them dying in Jedi Temple in Order 66. Not surviving, but dying. Just some random stuff like that. There's so many stories you can pluck. What's that?
I want to see more survivors of the Jedi Temple attack. I think there must be a few more.
Yeah, I reckon they should have a reunion episode where all the Jedi get back together and have a party. Yeah.
A little secret reunion.
That's it.
The one thing I'd love to see, the one thing that's critical for Star Wars moving forwards is when you have a lightsaber fight, there are consequences and good choreography with that as well.
No,
yeah, right. I don't know if that'll wash in this day and age.
No, not what they hurt. You mean? A bit like the bit of Naked Gun, where what's his name's getting shot and he falls onto the cooker and goes, "Ow!" He's getting shot.
I was thinking of Timothy Hot Fuzz when he falls in the miniature village. Remember that? Old Timothy Dalton when in Hot Fuzz in the miniature village, he falls and the spike goes through his mouth. Ow!
Well, you might as well. Oh, what's her name? Was it Sabine Wren?
Sabine Wren.
Like the next episode, so she gets run through in the first episode, and everyone went. Oh! Then the second episode, she's in the hospital bed going, "What?"
Yeah. I think Reva done better than her though. Stabbed through the chest twice. Reva done better though. Stabbed through the chest twice, mate.
Yeah. It's a problem, isn't it?
A little bit.
Just a little someone bit, should be putting their hand up if they all claim to be, clever people. They should be putting someone somewhere.
Yeah. So that person should be dead.
And being allowed to collaborate, to contribute, and say, do you know what? It's not going to look stupid. Like when they survive, like what? But you wouldn't mind if it was one little plot or one little mistake. You wouldn't mind it if it was. But the trouble is, they just keep doing things like. Was there any real need for old Blondie to run Sabine through? Like, was there
they should have done. They should have done the Monty Python sketch with the knife that gets his arms and legs chopped off.
Yeah, that's it. That didn't hurt.
Come back.
Come back.
But I think as well, it's the arrogance of it, though, isn't it?
Someone said that it looked really cool at the end of episode 1. If you go, yeah, she goes, oh,
yeah.
It's the. But the thing is, though, it's the arrogance of it as well. Because, say, for example, again, us three were called up. Right, we're going to be now working for Star Wars. Whatever we come up with, I'd be so conscious of not shitting on anything previous that's happened within Star Wars. That meant what I'm doing in a lightsaber fight, and I really like the idea of it, and it's my idea. I love the idea of it. But someone points out, well, actually, that diminishes lightsaber fights in general. It means that that doesn't work, or it diminishes a previous character like Luke Skywalker by what I've written. I'd be horrified by that. I'd be mortified.
Now imagine if Sabine Wren in that fight had a leg chopped off. Okay, we can live with that. Loses a leg, gets a robotic leg.
A robot one,
no problem.
Yeah,
that's it.
No problem.
Yeah. But what you're saying, Liz, though, is where the editors come in like the comics. So you've just been employed to write Captain America from issue 310 onwards. But hold on, what went on the other 309 episodes? I know what the character is, but I want to bring in, you choose a villain, right? Red Skull. It's down to the editor. So you write a story with Red Skull in it, and he goes, mate, Red Skull was killed off in issue 272. And you go, oh fuck, well that ain't gonna work. But he goes, you've got a good story here. You've told a good story beginning, middle, end. We can throw in another villain that we've just introduced in the Spider-Man. That's how it works. These editors had years of experience and were professional. And that's where Filoni has got the years of experience and the passion. So you as the writer, Liz, what you're saying is you'd be shitting your pants. And it is a good thing because it spurs you on to tell the most creative story.
You on the ball.
Big time.
What he or she, that good editor, I don't know what the equivalent or showrunner in TV, it would probably be your showrunners because they would have the Bible that everyone goes by. These characters can only do this. These are the powers, these are this, these are the bad guys, blah, blah, blah. But he or she would be saying to you, don't panic. Just come to me first with the synopsis, with your ideas. Just throw it. Just come, and I will detail it. I'll put in the backstory. I will just embellish it. I will add it. Unless you've really tripped up yourself, like this bloke, this Ben Kenobi that you liked in the film, he's dead now. We can't have him in it. Unless you really did something silly, they would be there
like put him in a pod race that he never actually saw?
Yeah, that's it. And have Kenobi dream about it.
For example,
and he weren't there.
But again, Filoni's guilty of this. Filoni's guilty of this as well because Ahsoka being the prime example, having her survive the original trilogy diminishes Luke Skywalker immediately. And it does. Any other Jedi surviving by the time it gets the original trilogy diminishes Luke Skywalker and the importance of Luke Skywalker. So as much as we're saying Filoni's, he's got the lore and this and that, he still misses those considerations.
I fully understand where you're coming from because, like I said, we have Star Wars. Yeah. Star Wars was Luke Skywalker, Ben Kenobi, Yoda. Yeah. That was it.
So Ahsoka, Ezra
Bridger, yeah. Not the Flash.
No. Yeah, not Ezra Miller.
Sabine now being trained. The more Jedi you have in the timeline of when it gets to the original trilogy, and this is where someone should have sat down old Filoni and gone, look, I know you love Ahsoka. I know you've got a bit of a hard on for Ahsoka right now. But fucking, you can't have Ahsoka survive in the timeline when it gets to Wars, because all you're doing is diminishing Luke Skywalker. He's not the last hope. He's not the one. It does.
So this we're talking about timeline considerations. Before. If that Ahsoka
you have
show,
to make these considerations.
If that Ahsoka show had happened pre Star Wars, and she was on that planet all those millions and millions of miles away while the original trilogy was happening, you could have Ahsoka still be alive, but be all the way over there, and she's got no way of getting back. But this is set after, so
But there's these are little considerations you need to think about, and if I knew that my character, because I love that character, and I'm going to have that character in this part of the timeline, no matter how much I love that character, if I knew that diminished Luke Skywalker, I wouldn't fucking do it. I wouldn't be doing it.
Yeah,
and it's those considerations, and I
agree
that aren't happening, and I feel that's purely down to arrogance. These are my ideas. My ideas are the best. They're not being challenged. No one's going, hang on a minute, you can't do that. Why not? It's my idea. It's the best. I'm in control now. Bosh.
I mean, they can't diminish Luke Skywalker any more than Rian Johnson did.
Yeah.
That wasn't even diminishing. That was just completely destroying.
And this is the worrying thing for me with Filoni. Those sort of considerations, because he loves his characters so much, and fair play to him, he loves his characters, but it's all about his characters, and that's my concern with Filoni. If he has truly got power and control now, it's just going to be shoehorning every single character he's ever created and animated and bringing them to live action, no matter what effects it has on everything else. And if he's much in control, I don't know about all of them, but if he's in that much control and power, all he's going to do is focus, and that's all he's going to do. And he will then be focused on the writing of it. He want to direct it. He want to be the one-man band doing everything, and that's where it goes wrong. So I hope Filoni's got more power than what he's had, but I hope he's being focused in terms of, right, I'm not writing or directing anymore. I'm just being the creative consultant, overseeing it, and I've got a good team around me. That's what I hope. But I feel like he's more of just a figurehead to cover KK, and that little bit of extra power that he may have now, he's just going to run wild with it like a kid in the candy shop and probably smash the whole lot up.
Yeah, I hope not. I mean, again, it's a hope. I hope not. I hope we're going to get some decent stuff moving forward.
I do too. I really do hope so. I've just got these concerns. Thinking about it more and more, the more concerns there are with this move. I feel like it's more of a political move than anything else.
But you got to remember, anything Filoni now, anything from Filoni in this new position, we're 2 years away.
Oh yeah.
We're 2 years away.
Which is a good, which is a good thing. You know, we might hear the news that Filoni's assembled like they've done over at Marvel with they've actually got showrunners in for Daredevil.
Yeah. We spoke about that last time. Yeah.
What an amazing new concept.
Yeah.
Have people that can do the job.
Who knew? Like, to get a couple of people in, or it doesn't take.
Have a proven track record.
Yeah, let's get showrunners in that oversee the project from beginning to end and make sure it's a cohesive whole. With someone like Filoni on top, or Feige at the Marvel side.
So, a bit of so I heard this on another podcast, and the person that said it has got some sources that there are. But basically, a couple of people that have directed Marvel TV shows, they went unnamed, have said, and this is coming what this person has said, has been told, when they had questions and queries about the script and concerns, and they asked those questions, they just got told, trust in the process, don't worry about it.
We're fixing
from the producers. Yeah, basically, don't worry about it, trust in the process. So we're saying about these directors, and we've said about Marvel directors before, where they're basically just the manager on the day. They're not in control of the project. It's all down to the producers, and that element of it needs to go. but the tarnish that's now got on those directors' careers, the ongoing effect of that. So they've taken that payday and gone, right, I'm directing something in Marvel.
Yep.
It's turned out shit, but probably not their own fault. They've done what they could. They've had lots of interference.
Depends who's
things
above
have
them,
changed. They haven't got a fucking script. All these different things are happening that's sabotaging them. Okay, they've got that great payday, but now they're either gonna. There's two things that are gonna happen. Somehow they fall upwards, or they're never gonna get work again.
Yeah. See, I don't like this multiple directors stuff. I really don't. It doesn't work the way, again, because the formats have changed within the TV shows. We go back in time. We go back to things like the A-Team, the Fall Guy, stuff we was talking about last time. You did have multiple directors, but each show was its own story. That works. When you've got a show that's got 6 to 8 episodes and it's one story in 8 parts, you can't have a director on each episode. It doesn't work.
Yeah, but also a lot of TV shows back then, I'm just using Stargate as an example.
Yeah.
You had Jonathan Glasner, Brad Wright, and Robert C. Cooper as your showrunners.
They were running they were running
the shows.
Yeah.
And then you had a group of 6, maybe 7 directors that were back every season, and they all worked together.
Yeah.
So Peter DeLuise, I can't remember some of the other ones, but there was lots of them that were always back. It was always 6 or 7 with the showrunners.
Did they have core writers as well?
Yeah.
So
they
had their team. Yeah, they had the team, and they had the team spoken through 10 seasons.
Yeah.
The team
and you would have had it with Buffy as well.
Yes, Buffy was the same.
And X-Files. X-Files was the same. You had the same 3 or 4 writers. Every now and again, you'd have a new writer dropped in or a new director, and that was part of nurturing new blood.
And that's what I was about to say. You can tell the new blood was nurtured by the pre-existing people that were already there. They were brought into the frame from that.
Yeah, but my point was, back then you could have a new director on every show. You could have, we're going through 12 episodes. Everyone gets to direct 2. That's not a problem because each episode is its own little story. Yes, there might be one thread that runs through from beginning to end, but it's its own little story. Now it's just like, okay, we've got to tell a 3 or 4 story arc, but we've got 3 or 4 directors to tell each bit.
And we've got no showrunners to make sure it's all linked.
Yeah,
that as well.
And that's what's been missing.
And that's something that I feel they need. And even down to if they're going to carry on making trilogies of movies. Look at this last lot we had where you got Abrams and you got Rian Johnson and then you got Abrams again. And that was just a dick swinging contest. I'm going to I'll do away with everything you've done in that first one and go my way. And then, no, I'm going to come back in the third one and put it back straight again. And it seemed to me, looking in, they were so worried about straightening out their own story that everything else just forgot about. And
but the thing is as well, everyone in life has it's human nature to all have your own strengths and weaknesses.
Don't start.
So stay in stay in your lanes.
Yeah, so within that, even though I don't think Abrams even though I don't think Abrams is like the best director ever, if they would have just given him the whole trilogy, at least we would have had one coherent story. It may have still been crap, but it would have made sense.
But also stay in your lanes, because you've got a lot of people that like to multitask. So you got writers that want to direct, you got people that want to act, direct, write, you got producers that everyone's got their own speciality. There's a reason for years why all these different roles work, like your showrunner, like your script supervisor, like your writing team, your directors, your producers, your cameramen. All these different roles are there for a reason. Don't try and do everything. Everyone stay in your lanes. Do what you got to do, and everyone's going to be a lot better off for it. Producers getting involved in the story, and then you're not having showrunners, then you're throwing different writers in, then producers are changing it all. Directors are raising their concerns, going, hang on, that don't make fucking sense. They're getting told to stay, trust the process. And then they've got no power over any of the final product. It's an absolute mess. And I don't understand at that level, and there's only one answer for this, at that level, how you can make that many mistakes and literally throw out the way of doing things and just go, yeah, cool, we'll do it our way, and it's just an absolute mess.
No,
and the answer is absolute, hubris and arrogance, absolute arrogance. We've made money, we can do what we want, and we can do everything.
And it is what's the word I'm looking for? It's also a cynical attitude towards fans. Like they'll lap anything up. Like, we can a bit, and when you look back at Feige when he was saying,
and it's also a way of saving money, isn't it?
We could pluck
it's a way of saving money.
But no, I wouldn't mind if they were saving money, but they're not. They're spunking more than ever before.
Yeah.
Like if they were saying we're going to make some cheap shit and just knock that out and you can lap that up, but they've done it. It's
like pre-production doesn't. It's like pre-production doesn't happen anymore. That pre-production phase where you put everything in place just doesn't happen anymore.
What was it? Blade? Was it Blade that started filming in the May, and they were still like they'd employed someone to rewrite the script in April?
That was you told us that. I don't remember the details on that. Yes, I remember you telling me.
They was all ready to roll, and a month before they went, "No, I think we better rewrite the script now." Just froze. You've got your budget and your
they're literally on set.
Yeah,
they don't have camera action. Write something down.
Yeah, your call sheets. How many cameras do we need? We've got a second unit.
How many hairdressers?
But well,
you script supervise. Like the writers aren't even on set, are they? Because on set, as everyone knows, everyone's been on set. Everyone knows there's changes that can happen on the day. But when you've got your proper setup of your writers there on set to make sure, well, that works. That's good. That works within the story. You've got your script supervisors all there because there might be an improvised line. There might be a spare of the moment idea. Well, we've got a bit of extra time here, guys. Let's try and see what we can capture.
Maybe.
People come up with ideas, and as a director, you go yes or no, and whatever the answer is what it's going to be. But you've got the support structure in there of the script supervisor and the writers there to go, yes, actually that will work. Take them away. Everyone's throwing out their ideas, like For Love and Blunder, especially with Taika Waititi, and he's just doing whatever the fuck he wants, and none of it makes sense.
What you just mentioned him, sorry, and we're on the vein of Star Wars. Did you see his tweet that he put out this last week?
No.
I'm not going to quote it because I can't remember exactly what he said, but it's along the lines of my Star Wars movie is going to piss people off.
Oh, brilliant.
Why the hell would you tweet that?
Bit like his Marvel.
Why would you do that?
Bit like his Marvel film. Yeah, they do. Well, they're allowed to do it. They're allowed to do it now.
Yeah.
If it was my film company and I saw that tweet, I'd say, take that down or you lost your job.
I'd say, see you later.
But imagine being the exec
before on Marvel and Star Wars. We've tried
right now.
It don't work. We're losing hundreds of millions a week now. So shut up. Like zip up your back.
Now imagine being okay. So we're multi millionaires, right? And we go after Endgame. We're like, okay, Marvel's doing pretty well here, and I really liked what they did with Thor, the third one.
Yeah,
I really liked what they did with that one. So I've got a spare, a couple of 100 million. I'm gonna throw it at Marvel because I want to invest. I want to get a piece of this action. I'm going to throw it at them and start investing. And then you hear, and specifically you want to invest in For Love and Thunder. Then all that money that you've invested, you hear that old Waititi is fucking about on set, and instead of just giving a concise, clear film, he's done over 4 and a bit hours worth of footage.
But he's allowed to do it. Feige.
Yeah, you'd be fuming. You'd be fuming. You'd be sitting there thinking, hang on a minute. If it, with all that money I've invested, I could have invested about 6 other films whilst you wasted the money doing that.
So I think
you'd be fuming.
I think that's a crucial bit, guys, about turning these ships around. Our Marvel and Star Wars ships. I think the productions have got to be, and I know this might sound a bit of an obvious thing, but I don't think to either of these sides of this camp it is that obvious, because they're clearly not doing it. But these budgets
doing it.
Have got to be, and I think this is where the showrunners should be given the budget. So, like the Daredevil guys, I know it's a bit of a different thing, but let's just pretend that they was given the job of how many episodes is it? 14, 16 episodes? Oh, I don't know how many.
18.
18. Right. Your budget is $100 million, which is still a lot of dough. It's still a lot of dough. That's still what?
Hell of a lot.
7 million an episode.
Hell of a lot.
Lot of money.
It's more than Game of Thrones.
Scheduling, that's where the schedules, and all us three have been involved in making. I know it's only short film stuff, but you need to plan that shit. Doesn't matter how much money you've got to spend, right? But unless you plan it on that level to the budget you've got, you're always going to spend an unlimited amount of money, aren't you? Like Takiki doing Love and Blunder. If he's allowed to just do all that crap, and it was utter crap, just playing around, being stupid, and it was, how is that allowed? That is literally burning money. But they must have thought, this is going to earn us so much money. And when it crashes, they carry on with the same thing. It's like, that is the definition of insanity, isn't it? Trying to when you do the same thing over and over again, but expect
a different result.
Yeah. So
realistically,
so I think it's lowering them budget. I think it's lower budgets based on showrunners,
less content.
I think it's those three. Don't you think?
Yeah, and less content as well, because after Endgame they stretched themselves far too thin. There's been nearly 20 projects since Endgame, and that was only 2019. 15 projects, almost double. Well, basically the same amount as we had in 10 years has been in 3 years, if that makes sense in terms of content. So you're stretching yourself far too thin. It'd be tough to keep track of it all. I don't doubt that it's tough to keep track of it. If you're the one that says, right, you're in charge of making sure there's continuity here, looking at it and you're going, well, how am I supposed to keep track of that show? I've got this show over here, I've got that going on there. Like, it's going to be difficult, right? But reduce the content, but also lower it back down to almost the street level. Not every film needs to be the end of reality as we know it. And like the latest Marvel, she flies into the sun. In the Marvels, she flies into the sun and reignites the sun. Since when was she able to fucking do that? And the only reason she can do that,
she went at night.
It's
because the bad guy. But the only reason she could do that, but the only reason she could do that is because the bad guy, the writers went, "Oh, the bad guy's going to extinguish the sun." Oh, so how are we going to resolve this? Oh, well, Captain Marvel's got the power to ignite the sun. That's literally where that's come from.
But if we'd have seen
no fault behind it,
cosmic power, that level of anything's possible. That's why we love all this shit. But by the time Thanos is literally doing his thing, they've just we're invested.
Raring to go.
We can believe that an alien can do that. But really, it's absurd. It's absurd. But this fantasy stuff, we're in it.
But
we love it.
The other side of it as well is a villain that is going to bring that level of threat. So someone like they built up like Thanos, he comes in, he's been in the background meddling, and then he comes in, beats the shit out of the Hulk, kills Loki. Infinity War, they lose. Your heroes need to go through that crucible of losing, being on the edge, being desperate, instead of just winning every battle because they're so great and they're so powerful.
Comes in.
See, that's where the Fantastic Four film trilogy should be. It should be they're going to follow the source material. It should be the origin. Just get back to basics.
Yeah.
Set the family up, and at the end of it, Galactus is on his way. And it's not a universe. He just devours planets.
Yeah.
He's on his way to Earth. Silver Surfer turns up at the end of the first film. The second film, he defeats the Fantastic Four, and the Earth is on the brink at the end of the second film. They've failed.
Yeah.
Oh my God, what's going to happen? We need to see the third film. They need help.
Yeah.
They need help.
Yeah.
And this is where you can bring in a nice new
Captain Marvel. Oh.
Yeah, well, might as well fly into Galactus' helmet.
No, joking. I'm joking.
I thought you meant Ms. Marvel then. You bring in Ms. Marvel with her big hands like that.
The Eternals. The Eternals.
Yes.
Batman.
Is anyone writing this down? But your third film is
Shang-Chi.
Maybe you've stop it, Liz. It's maybe in the first two films you might have introduced a couple of characters or two, or in the
a cameo here and there.
Yeah, or in the third film introduce whoever to set off their own films, but have helped the FF. I don't know. Might be Doctor Doom.
No, not that. No, I disagree. In that third film, keep it compact, keep it to that crew, stick with that story. If you start going down that route of let's introduce a couple of cameos that can do their spin-offs, we're now getting back into phase 1, phase 2, phase 3. No, done. Have a trilogy of Fantastic Four, absolutely no problem. Do that. Don't spin off characters or anything like that.
No, I can't resist.
That's the one bit I think you just. Yeah, you fucked that right up there.
As Feige's mate, I need to lead on to the next trilogy somewhere. I mean, I don't know who it'd be. I mean, that's a fair point, Taters.
Yeah.
Maybe that is going down the same route.
Yeah.
But they are going to want, without a doubt, a connected universe.
Mm. But there's also the TV factor as well, isn't there? Because with a lot of our most favourite shows back in the day, they would run for a certain amount of seasons and they'd stop. Do you know what I mean? You know, if a show got to 10 seasons, you're like, oh, okay, they're going to probably just call this the last one now.
Yeah.
And only a few shows have done it, got to 10 seasons.
They'd normally be like 6 or 7. Yeah.
Yeah, normally it's 6 or 7. And it's kind of that sort of 6 or 7 range, because that 6 or 7 years you've been invested in this and followed this, they stop it and they end it and they try and end it on a high note. Endgame was that high note.
Yeah.
And that's where it should have been.
Yeah.
That's where it should have been. They should have just stopped it from there and then gone back to street level and just, like you say, the Fantastic Four trilogy, nothing else with it.
Yep.
Couple of bits here, couple of bits. Just even a Daredevil. They're not doing the TV show anymore. Even just a Daredevil trilogy. Do you know what I mean? Just something like that. There's a reason why TV shows stop after a certain amount of time. They lose traction.
Yeah, just run.
Season 1 does. Yes, as season 1 does well. Season 2 is sort of your either the make or break season, where it's either going to be better or worse. An example of it being better is Arrow. Arrow season 2 was really good over season 1. And then, you know, it sort of either keeps going upwards in traction or it starts to go down in traction. For example, Game of Thrones. It was going up and up and up. And season 7, it was a bit wobbly. And then season 8, it fell off a cliff. But there's a reason why they stop it there. And I think trying to continue it forever, which is what basically the MCU are trying to do.
Yeah.
You've got to realize people lose interest. And that's why TV shows stop.
I mean, they've got the background.
Was the perfect point.
The annoying bit is they have the background, they have the source material. They could do years and years and years of television or movies or whatever, or a mixture of both. They have the background. Everything is there. These scripts are effectively written in little 32-page books.
It's greed.
It's greed. Got everything you need. You do not need to change. You do not need to. You need to adapt, but you don't need to go crazy.
It's greed, mate. That's all it is.
Yeah.
That's all it is greed. Because
greed, mining it for all it's worth. We've just bought it for so many billion. Now we've got to mine it instead of having a bit more of a longer term plan. I mean, end of the day, I bought Lucasfilm for 4 billion, was it? How much?
But all they're doing now is tarnishing what they've already done. So if we're purely talking about the MCU, all they're doing is tarnishing what they've already done. For me, the MCU ended with Endgame. That's my point where I stopped.
For a lot of people. For a lot of people.
And for a lot of people that's the case.
I did like the Spider-Man. I did like the Spider-Man that come out.
Yes, no,
Phase 4 Spidey.
It was all right.
That's Sony, and I tell you what, the last one relied.
No, it was MCU, you donut.
No, it was Sony.
Far From Home was MCU.
Yeah, it was under the MCU banner, but Sony produced it.
Sorry, I thought you meant it was. Right, I'm with you.
Yeah, it was a co-production, but but I'd say I'd happily sacrifice those 2 Spider-Man films for just end it at just Endgame.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Like I say, it's almost like imagine trying to run Buffy. Imagine if Buffy was still going now. Like from back then, it's still going now. It would have lost so much traction. It would be so shit and so convoluted because each time they've got to try and outdo themselves with a world-ending event. You know, there's this magical thing that's going to destroy the world, and we've got this thing to save the world. It becomes so convoluted that all you do is just disregard things. For example, in Thor: Love and Thunder, in the One Wish, well, Thor could have just done that in Infinity War, and the Thanos threat would never have fucking happened. All you do by continuing to drag it out with this greed, because you want to mine it for everything it's got, is diminish everything that you've done before. You've got to learn when to stop.
Yeah.
And I think Endgame was the perfect point. They obviously haven't learned the lesson.
Yeah, they could have wrapped it all up at Endgame.
And imagine how beloved those films would have been. Like, and they still are, but imagine what higher pedestal them 3 phases would have been put on without the time phase 4 and 5.
Yeah.
And what a shame that the power of those films are going to diminish over time.
Like, no, it wasn't even over time. They diminished the power of those films in Loki season 1.
Yeah.
Here's some Infinity Stones. Oh yeah, no, we use them as paperweights.
You know, how many parents are you going to have introduce their kids to the new Star Wars stuff, the new Marvel stuff, when it is dross? Like, I don't know when Luke was a certain age and Iron Man was coming out, or no, the first X-Men films actually, he would have been of a certain age. What was the first one? 2000. So when those first he was like 7, 8, 9-ish around there, and you go on and on. Then Lord of the Rings is out. Even Harry Potter, if you're so inclined. But that was all good shit that you're kind of not dragging your kids, but your kids, especially nowadays with all the other distractions they've got. First of all, being say computer games. You've got to drag them away and say, this stuff's good.
Yeah.
Nowadays, that's what I did to Luke and said, like, Star Wars, that's good. Come on, Marvel, that's good. Lord of the Rings, it's good, it's good. Come on. But I didn't have...
Can't say that much anymore.
Imagine going to...
Oh, Dad, you'll be all big. Dad, I've heard that's like a load of that. I ain't going with you to see that shit.
But imagine
imagine
a film. Imagine a film where we always break a story is always beginning, middle, end. That is a complete story, beginning, middle, end. So imagine a story broken down into 3 acts, where Act 1, half hour opening setup, and then your Act 2 goes on for years and years and years and years and years. You give up because you're waiting for the end of the story. You give up, don't you? So, and we say in normal films, if Act 2 is not strong enough and it drags, you lose interest for the ending. And put that into comparison for the MCU. We've had our intro, we've had our Act 1. Act 2's being dragged out way too long. We just want the end. And that's why people drop off. People just turn off because Act 2 is being dragged out. And that's why it should have ended in Endgame.
Especially with TV, wouldn't it be better to have a beginning, middle, end, have it planned out, whether it's 3 series, 4 series, whatever.
Yeah.
Beginning, middle, end, and get out people wanting more.
Yeah.
It's got to be the best way. And 2 of my best examples of that, and funny enough from the same team, is Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul. They had a finite amount of series. When they started series 1, they knew they was ending it. There was never going to be, with Breaking Bad, that was never, well, for obvious reasons, if you've watched it, it was never going to go on forever. But when it ended, it was like, oh, I could have done with another series of that. Like they could have dragged that out a bit. But do you know what? In my heart, Better Call Saul was the end, but you could see it. It was almost like you could see the ending coming, like about in 2 series, like at the beginning of the penultimate series. You knew where it was going, and you think, oh no, I know where this is end. Like, oh wow, just.
Sons of Anarchy was like that as well.
Ending, you knew where it would end up, but that was the beauty of it. But that was the X-Files team doing Breaking Bad, and then went on to Better Call Saul. Professionals being trusted to show off their craft, their craftsmanship, and their skill and their professionalism. But why, my God, why? But nevertheless, they are still pre-streaming. They are still both network.
So
and this is where, and I know
it's on the verge
before, this streaming format is
Breaking Bad was Netflix, wasn't it?
The last series of Better Call Saul, I think, was Netflix, but the first series wasn't. Unless someone can correct me, but I think
Breaking Bad was Netflix.
Streaming is at the heart of what makes all this shit.
Now, yes, I mean another good example of that was Sons of Anarchy. You could see the end was coming, and they built it and built it and built it. It was a good show. That is a good show, but season 1 fucking dragged. Season 1 was 6 episodes. And it dragged like fuck.
6 episodes dragged.
Yeah, but
that was
there was something that happened. What's that?
What's his name? Manamana.
Ron Perlman was in it. Ron Perlman was in it, but it was very, very good.
Oh, I thought it was John Manamana.
What?
I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it.
Oh, damn you.
I'm not going to do it.
Right, that's it. You're off the next hogCAST. Too late. Too late. I had to threaten you.
Okay.
I had to threaten you. That's Joe Hamman.
Yeah, I know the one you're talking about.
Yeah. Anyway, over both your heads.
No, I got you. I got you straight away, but I was no.
Yeah, you just chose to ignore me. So on that, now I've got the I think that's about it, isn't it? I don't want to
no, not quite. Not quite.
No more. Well, apart from
freeze frame. What we'll talk about.
Yeah, we've got to do freeze frame.
Yeah.
Right. I got round to. I have done done House of Usher, done Haunting Hill House, and Midnight Mass.
Wow.
Oh, nice. Finally.
Awesome. Haunting Hill House. That's my favourite.
Okay.
Well, I thought that was fantastic.
And then what? And then
out of the 3, Haunting Hill House for me was the best.
And then
absolutely fantastic.
I can't argue that. My personal favourite is Midnight Mass, and then
now Midnight Mass. The only reason that wasn't my favourite, and I don't know if it's because I don't know if I've watched them out of sequence or whatever, but I'm coming backwards, aren't I? But Midnight Mass.
That's what she said.
It was a little bit predictable in my head. I had that sort of worked out halfway through.
Yeah, no, I did.
It was like, you got it pretty quick. Who was who and what's gonna, what I mean? You could, for that reason. Don't get me wrong, it was really, really good. I really enjoyed that, but the predictability of it is the only reason why I'd say for Hill House was much better from that vein.
Did you spot all the ghosts?
Yeah, oh yeah. In the windows, in the little background bits. Yeah. Really good.
It was awesome.
Yeah.
Hill House is bloody good, mate. To be fair,
no,
are you gonna do Bly Manor as well?
I got Bly Manor queued up. I did sort of watch some trailers for Midnight Club, but I don't think I'm going to bother with that one.
Yeah, don't bother.
I don't think I'm going to bother with that one. But no, Bly Manor's queued up, ready to go.
Bly Manor's Bly Manor's more about story. Bly Manor has got an amazing twist midway. Cool. It's more of a love story. But how they do it is really, really good.
If it's all in that same vein, it's absolutely fine.
And it is, it's spot on. It's spot on, mate. It's such a good show.
Yeah,
Flanagan at his best again. I'm just wondering what he's going to be doing next.
Yeah, where does he go?
Star Wars.
Yeah, get him on Star Wars.
Haircut 100 once said, "Where do we go from here?"
Oh get him doing something. Yeah, I don't know what he's going to do next. Although the only thing I did hear, his deal with Netflix is up. It's done.
Oh, really?
So wherever he goes, whether he stays with Netflix, whether he goes.
I mean, I'm not being funny. With everything he's produced and the way he's produced it, I've got a feeling all the other streaming services would be just throwing money at him. Come here. We need you.
He deserves to be.
He does.
I wouldn't be surprised if he ends up staying with Netflix and they give him some sort of crazy deal.
But he does seem to be at home there, doesn't he? And they seem to let him have a free enough reign. So no, that's a success story. That's something to kind of like cheer. It's like when you hear when you see a name associated, it's a bit like when it was the Russo brothers.
Yeah.
But what's the other one with Rebel Moon? Zack Snyder.
Yeah.
Oh, you got there this week.
It's like when you remember it. Names, you know what you're getting on the tin.
Yeah.
And you know, a bit like when Michael Bay,
like Nolan, Fincher.
The critics would hate it, but that you'd love it. So
there's certain names you just know what you're going to get.
Yeah.
Nolan, you know you're going to get a spectacle.
Yeah.
James Cameron, you know you're going to get CGI galore.
Oh.
Yeah. Like,
blue people
these days. Yeah, these days, blue people.
Blue aliens.
That's what you're going to get now.
That's it.
But there is almost like a bit of a comfort in knowing what you're going to get when you're a name.
Yeah.
And Flanagan always delivers. You know you're going to get something interesting. You know you're going to get something that's going to deliver with him.
I mean, you know what you're going to get with Disney Plus, but you just don't like it.
You've been going there for 2 hours, so don't go there right again. Don't bait me now. You could have done it as if I need any bait. Anyway, guys,
we've done all right there, considering we got nothing to talk about.
No,
it's gonna be good.
That weren't a bad little 2 hours, was it? Ramble.
That was right. That was nice and smooth.
So I think it's time for you.
On the next one, right, because you're globetrotting, aren't you? For the next one, you're away.
In the next one.
So we're going to be having a little gap again.
Yeah, so it'll be.
It's always his fault, isn't
it? Yeah, it is as it goes.
It's always his fault. So yeah, we'll sort something.
It's the Hog World Tour. That's all it is. It's the Hog World Tour. Where's this part of the tour taking you now?
Oh no, only Tenerife again.
Only Tenerife. Okay.
Do it live from Tenerife.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that'd be funny, wouldn't it? Do it from some bar with Tenerife. I haven't watched anything because I've been out here getting drunk.
Yeah.
We'll be briefing you on everything.
Going with the other half, so it won't be a drunken, debauched one. But anyway. What do you mean? Oh.
Oh, well, that's what our Christmas night out is for. Remember
this out because Michelle watches all these videos.
Hi, Michelle.
Hi.
What? Sorry, right, come on. It's time.
We're doing it. It's that time.
Thanks for that, guys. Until the next one.
You're welcome.
Night.
Night night.